Stranger Things Season 5 will begin filming in January of next year. Let's talk a little more about this. Welcome to the second channel, everybody. My name is Linda, and today we're talking a little bit about Stranger Things Season 5 that will finally go underway, start filming in January of 2024. Now, many of us have been freaking out about Stranger Things Season 5. As a huge fan of the show myself, I remember hearing reports that they might not get it out to us until like 2030 or some weird, crazy bullshit update like that. I don't know what was going on with all that. I don't care. The news now is that we'll probably be seeing the series in like 2025. They're going to start filming next year. There's a lot of very exciting things happening with Stranger Things. So this is the final season, which might be very sad to some people. I'm excited that this show's going to end on a high note and not try to stretch it out a little too much, though. I'm hoping that Season 5 is good, and then that's going to be it. We'll talk a little more about what's coming after Stranger Things Season 5, as the Duffer Brothers have teased in this little video, in this little article here. That's something I'm scared about. But let's talk about the good stuff first. So, in the wake of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes being resolved, thank God, very happy about that, Deadline reports this afternoon that filming on Stranger Things 5 is finally kicking off in a matter of weeks. Things are still in flux, but according to multiple sources, Monday, January 8th, right at the top of the year, is a target start date, with January 5th also being mentioned, Deadline notes in their report. Stranger Things 5 will be the final season of Netflix's hit series, and Netflix recently announced during their ta-dum event that Terminator icon Linda Hamilton will star. Ooh, now this is very exciting stuff. I love Linda Hamilton. I think she is so good in everything she's in. You might just know her from Terminator, Terminator 2, Terminator Dark Fate, whatever, but she's also in Children of the Corn. Killer movie, super underrated, does not get talked about enough. Outlander! Outlander! She's great, though, and I'm super excited to see her in Stranger Things Season 5, hopefully having some kind of big role, just like our boy from Nightmare on Elm Street in the last season, Robert Englund. That was really exciting to see him. Even if it was just a small little sequence, he was still there. We appreciate that. Pretty cool stuff. So not only is Linda Hamilton going to star in this next season, but we also have the director behind last year's Hulu hit Prey, Dan Trachtenberg, who also did 10 Cloverfield Lane, the premiere episode of The Boys. He directed that as well. He's heading to the Upside Down to direct an episode of Stranger Things 5, which is very exciting. Dan Trachtenberg is another director that I personally feel like does not get talked about enough. A big reason for that is he just simply hasn't done a whole lot. Like I was saying, I think the biggest credits to his name, like I don't even know what this No Escape is. Like, is that Portal? Is this like a Portal a fan film or something? I'm not sure, but 10 Cloverfield Lane, Prey, and that opening episode of The Boys, all fantastic across the board. My thing about him is he hasn't made a lot, but everything I've seen of his has been like near 10 out of 10 quality. I love Prey. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. Prey is my favorite Predator sequel, which might be very controversial, but I don't know. Predator 2, it just doesn't do it for me. Some people love Predator 2. It's just not for me. Predators was my former favorite sequel. I really like Predators is fun. It's like a 7 out of 10 movie, I would say, but it's fun. Prey gave me another character to care about in the Predator franchise, and that's been my biggest problem with the majority of with all the sequels up until Prey, is I just don't really care much about the main characters in a lot of those sequels. Arnold, Dutch from that first movie. I love Arnold. How can you not love Arnold? Come on. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, baby. We fucking love him. I want to see him beating the shit out of an alien that has green blood. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Prey was the first movie where I'm watching this and I'm like, I love this main character. Amber Mid-Thunder, fantastic. I want to see her in like 100 more horror movies, hopefully. That would be so great. I also just love the other guy in this movie, which is not a good way to describe a character, but Dakota Beavers is his name. What an excellent name. Dakota Beavers, get in more stuff. Be in more stuff, you two. You guys are fantastic. Excellent movie. I loved Prey so much. So much fun. Very good film. There's finally a 4K release of that, by the way, for dudes out there who, ladies and dudes, I should say, who collect physical media. So very exciting stuff. But getting back to Stranger Things, Dan Trachtenberg directing an episode, maybe 2, of Stranger Things 5, most likely just 1, but that's okay. And as we know from the season 4 finale, it set the stage for a final season that will bring the action entirely back to Hawkins, with the rift between Hawkins and the Upside Down now completely opened up by the monster behind it all, Vecna. Now, here's what's interesting about season 5 to me, going back to Hawkins. I think that this is the right move. My one criticism of season 4 is there was just a little too much bouncing around. There's like just a little, it was a little too big for its britches. at times. There was so many different plot lines going on, so many different characters doing this and that, over here, over there. And what ended up happening with season 4, I love it. It's one of my favorite seasons. It's really good. I love the way it concludes. Fantastic. They got it all together in those last 2 episodes. But before that, what was going through my head is I'm like, in the first like maybe 6 episodes or so, I'm like, I have no idea how they're going to bring this together. And I mean, they had to do some crazy writing bullshit to get us there, but we did it. They're not going to be able to do that again. That was, this was so close. The season 4 of Stranger Things, while has been praised, and I love it, don't get me wrong, is this close to being a disaster. And I'll die on that hill. It is very overcomplicated, and I don't think it needed to be, personally. We're in California for one thing. Like, there was a lot of choices made for Stranger Things season 4 where I feel like they just wanted to get us into different settings, so you're not just looking at the same Hawkins, Indiana backdrop or whatever. But now they're bringing it back. This was the right move. Bring it back to, you know, Stranger Things season 1 and 2 with season 5, make it a smaller story. We got really ambitious with the last 2 seasons. And in my opinion, I think it paid off with seasons 3 and 4. I really like these seasons, both very good seasons, but very ambitious. The mall stuff was a little ambitious, you know, not really seeing the upside down especially was a really interesting choice that paid off for them in season 3. Season 4, once again, we had those ambitious decisions again. Now let's end it on just a simpler note. I think that's the right move with where this story is right now. I'm glad that the Duffer Brothers aren't just trying to make season 5 even bigger and crazier and even more complex. We're doing 8 storylines that bounce across. No, that would be way too much. Don't make it any bigger. Season 4 was as big as it needs to be. We'll most likely see this in 2025, although I wouldn't be shocked if this gets pushed to 2026 with how much like VFX work goes into these shows. I don't know if you guys know this, but the reason that those last 2 episodes for season 4 had to come out later than the rest of the episodes was because they were still working on the VFX stuff for that last episode with the bats and all that crazy shit. They got it done moments before it was uploaded to Netflix, which is insane to me. Like, I remember when we were doing our fan film, you know, we were getting some stuff done literally the day of the premiere. We were finishing up like the sound and a bunch of other weird shit that we had to do. That was stressful. I can't even imagine what the Duffer Brothers were going through that day when they were just trying to get everything done. It's like, oh my God, everything's on fire. Like, there was a lot of screaming involved, I imagine, and that's okay. That's just filmmaking, baby. But speaking of the Duffer Brothers, they tease there are still many stories, many exciting stories to tell within the world of Stranger Things. New mysteries, new adventures, new unexpected heroes. So I'm going to be completely real. Here's my take on this. Anytime that we finish a story and then we're at the point where we're going to do spin-offs, we're going to do what if series, we're going to do basically anything that can answer a question from the past to milk every last drop out of the udder of a franchise, this is where shit goes downhill. So I'm excited for Stranger Things season 5. But after that, I think I might be jumping off the Stranger Things train. Because look what happened to Marvel after 2019, dude. People love that shit. Now everyone hates it because all they're doing is milking the Infinity Saga story, and they're not really building up to anything that exciting. No one really cares about Kang the Conqueror. You know, it's not, they just didn't set it up the same way that they did with the previous story. So for me, this is where I'm probably going to check out. Like, there's an animated series that's already been confirmed to be in the works. They're probably going to do some kind of spin-off with some of the other characters, I'm sure, that are still dealing with upside down weird supernatural consequences. Like I said, though, I'm excited for season 5. I will most likely be checking out after that. But what do you guys think about season 5? Are you excited for this? Do you think we'll get it in 2025, or are you kind of with me? Like, it'll most likely get delayed. These things, I mean, you know, think about this, right? An episode is usually an hour long. That's almost the equivalent of making a movie. There's probably going to be 8 episodes. It's basically like making 8 movies in the course of 2 years. That's not very easy to do. I would imagine that this is going to take them a couple of years, and that's okay. I would rather see quality versus just, we got to get it out as fast as possible. No, take your time, Duffers. Take your time, work with the kids, make this something good. That's what I say. What do you guys think, though? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you for watching this on The Second Page, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.